video is a follow-up to the out-of-the-box Crosman Legacy 1000. In that video, it lost velocity. I surmised at the time some sort of seal had been damaged. And to make a long story short, it was the seal that was damaged right here. But that's not going to make any sense to you right now, so let's get into it. First, you have to take the air rifle apart. I used two videos by a YouTuber by the name of AM Machinist. I followed his step-by-step on taking it apart. The main part that I did right away was get into the pressure tube with the two main parts, valve, which goes down here, and your piston. The piston on this, which same piston is on the 362, and here's your valve. When you look close up, you'll see right here it got flattened, and I'm not sure why, but it's flattened. But that's the disassembled Crosman Legacy 1000 as far as I'm going to do it. I brought the compression tube, the piston, and the valve up here to put it back together, plus the lever. The Crosman pressure system's pretty much the same throughout. Legacy 1000, there's a big difference. Here's your Crosman. I took this out of my 1322 and replaced it for my Super Drifter kit. That is your valve chamber, which is pretty close to the same size as the one that comes out of the 760, because I changed that one too. Compare that to this valve, and it's considerably smaller. I'm not sure what the engineers were doing there, because the Legacy has more velocities. There's the valve with the new O-ring on it. The old O-ring, I don't know if you're going to be able to see or not. You can see that it's got that flange. Here's the new O-ring that I'm putting on it. Well, let's hope it works. Now I'm ready to install it. The tube's nice and shiny and clean, no scratches. I've got the new ring reinstalled. I'll do 5 pumps. We'll do the old functions test here to see if the valve is working. By the way, this is a lot easier than the little 1322 because you got a lot more leverage here. This should give you a good puff here. Here goes. I think I got it working. So now I need to put the air rifle back together. There. It's put back together. I did a test firing on it. It seems to work. When you watch step-by-step videos, you got to be careful sometimes. What they think is easy may not be easy for somebody that's not as experienced. Just me having done only a couple of these, that is going to be an area you got to watch. That's your transfer port. Make sure that's down. And in his video, as this thing didn't fall apart, you got to make sure that your hammer stem, the hammer stem, it's got to go through this and the bolt. Anyways, I'm going to go forward from here, but just to be aware of that you got to put the spring holder and the hammer spring in beforehand. That's got to be done, and it's held back by the screw on the other side. So you can put a screw here to hold it, but you're going to probably be a good idea to get that screw started on the other side. You could screw this one screw right, that one screw that my thumb is pointing to. It only goes to the hammer spring lock. It goes through there. So once you get it lined up then and set in there, you can put that screw in, and then it tightens the barrel down. So it might make it a lot easier. Put this back together here. I'm just ready to put the other receiver cover on. You have to get that trigger spring in there first before and then you got to get the safety lined up. Once that happens, it clicks together pretty well. But getting that spring there is a problem that you really have to grapple with, but it'll go. You just got to keep trying. That was a problem when I took it apart. That spring came flying out. It fits all together, but it's got a lot of parts in there. It's late at night. I think I'll do all my testing on this tomorrow to see on the speed test. When I finished putting it together, I shot a night shoot from 12 yards, pretty much the top circle. That's good enough for open sights for me. I'm going to probably end up putting a scope on this anyway, so I'm going to settle for that. Here you have it. Here is the results for 10 pumps. Limited it to 7 different types of pellets. All these pellets are in scale, so they're twice the size they really are. And the shapes are accurate because I measured them with the caliper, so you could kind of compare the shapes and sizes of these various pellets. Admittedly, this is kind of busy because it also includes the results before the original O-ring broke. And that I have sort of highlighted to separate it in a green wash. The H&N Excite hammer for 10 pumps is an average speed of 788, 9.5 foot-pounds. I had to try out of the H&N hunting sample packet their Barracuda Power. It's a copper-plated. It's going to be heavier, which it was. It was 10.65 grains, which is going to limit its speed to 620.6, but it gave a 9.11 foot-pounds of pressure at 10 pumps, so that's not bad at all. I may have to look into that one further. Also out of the hunting H&N sample pack, Trophy Green, all the way around, very light, 5.71 grains, an average of 835 feet per second, and that comes out to 8.8 foot-pounds. In the 10-pump category, it is my fastest. The Crosman Goldflight is a good penetrator round. It weighs 8.5 grains. With 10 pumps, it was 728 feet per second, and that comes an even 10 foot-pounds. The H&N Hornet, it is a little heavier and it's also a little longer than you would think. It's 9.57 grains. Its average speed was 688.8, so it's 10 foot-pounds too. The Crosman Fast Flight, it's a good penetrator round. It was incredibly fast before the O-ring went down. This time around, the repaired O-ring is 822 feet per second and 8.1 foot-pounds. So there you have it. So far, I've done only 10 pumps, partly out of concern for that seal for the O-ring. It's a lot of pressure there, but the box says you can max out at 12 pumps. So I'm going to try a select few pellets here at 12 pumps. It's windy out. We're getting 30-mile-an-hour gusts, but it's measuring muzzle velocity, so I don't think it's going to make that much difference. So we got some rain clouds coming in, so I'm going to get a couple shots here off before it rains. This is with the Crosman Goldflight. One more shot. Start to rain. I can't believe it. Here's the results of 12 pumps, but we can make some comparison. The repaired versus the original. Bottom line, probably lost about a foot-pound, but I think it's not going to put as much stress on the O-ring, so I'm satisfied with these results. These are pretty good. I probably should have ran this Barracuda, but I ran out of time because of the rain. The Gold Flight, it came up with 750 feet per second, so we gained about 20 feet per second with the additional two pumps, and 10.6 foot-pounds, so it gained a little over a half a foot-pound. The H&N Hornet, it went from 10.08 to 10.1, so it was a marginal increase. Still 10 foot-pounds of kinetic energy there, so that's a good round. The Crosman Fast Flight, I'm not sure what happened here. It didn't really get a substantial increase, and it only went up to 8.6 foot-pounds. I know there's a lot of information here. Give you enough time to put it on pause if you really want to look at the specifics. What I've got here is a punctured can, and behind it is an unpunctured Lysol can, which has been probably 95% emptied. I'm going to fire at that using my penetrating rounds and see which ones will get through first. First up will be the Gold Flight. Sounds like it went through on the first one. So the Gold Flight went through. Let's see what happens with the Fast Flight. And last but not least, we'll put a Hornet in it. Let's see what we got here. I'm not sure which one hit. What happened back here? Little thing right there caused the hiss. Like the t-shirt says, no can is safe. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please press the like button and subscribe. I appreciate it. Thank you.